So our main character finds himself in a new world where the women dominate men.
Mommy!
But what's interesting here is that he has to run an inn in this world which is near a beach. And if that wasn't worse enough, he has to protect himself from the seductive women who are after him. Today we're going to be talking about the manga called Let's Run an Inn on Dungeon Island. So our story begins with Sanada Shiro, a guy whose idea of fishing was ordering sushi, who woke up to the shock of his life. His boss, the champion of surprises, declared he'd be attending a fishing event. And not just any event. No, this was an event where he'd actually have to fish. Cue the panic. He'd sooner wrestle a bear than hold a fishing rod. And to top it off, his boss insisted he buy all the gear on his own dime. But lo and behold, the universe had its own twisted plans. As he rubbed sleep from his eyes, he wasn't in his room anymore. No, there were castles and a foreign landscape greeting him. Did he die from a heat stroke-induced dream? Yeah, maybe. But then the memory struck. A talking flounder had something to do with his mess. Fishy business is afoot indeed. And as he cautiously strolls towards a castle, he was welcomed. Not by open arms, but by a battalion of soldiers. They cornered him like he was a rare Pokemon. When he claimed he was just a corporate grunt, they high-fived each other. Not the reaction he expected from the armed guards. And things took a massive nosedive when he was whisked away into custody. And, oh boy, the madness escalated faster than a squirrel on caffeine. Naked ladies.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Bizarre propositions and a licking session that sounded like a deleted scene from a bad comedy. Poor Shiro's gag reflex was the real victim here. Just as things were about to get even weirder, if that's possible, enter stage right, Princess Christia. Because what's a bizarre adventure without royalty crashing the party? Shiro wondered if this was some sort of twisted sitcom. The princess, surprisingly chill, halts the chaos. She's like the calm in the eye of this crazy storm. Shiro spills his guts, telling her the truth about his fishy teleportation and how he's more like a lost penguin in the desert. In a move that surprises him, she offers comfort. Like, literally, she pats his back while he spills the beans. Who knew a royal could double as a therapist? As they chat, Shiro learns this isn't just any world. It's Regalta, where genders are flipped, and men play the role of, well, women. War's looming, men are in hiding, and his head spinning faster than a whirlpool. And that's the story of how Shiro found himself in a topsy-turvy world where fishing events lead to castle dramas and princess therapy sessions. Welcome to Regalta, where reality's the punchline. So, Shiro's day took a sharp left turn from a fishing event to conversing with a magic flounder that looked like it just swam out of a fairy tale. Now, this fish wasn't your average gill-bearing buddy. It offered him a wish, like a genie, but underwater and probably smelling fishy. And naturally, being the unwitting hero, Shiro releases the flounder, and boom! Next thing he knows, he's sucked into a cosmic black hole picnic and spat out in front of Princess Christia, who's like, "Hey, welcome to Regalta, where the women run the show."
What? What the?
The princess, despite facing a 3-day deadline with an executioner, seems oddly delighted to have Shiro for company. Maybe it's the fish out of water vibe he's giving off, literally. And turns out this magical princess happens to be cuffed by some handcuffs that she can't magic her way out of. Cue Shiro's light bulb moment. He remembers his newfound creation magic. Fish-flavored magic. Here we go. But alas, when he conjures water, because why not start with something familiar, he discovers a countdown timer. Talk about fishy surprises. And to make matters worse, there's leftover vomit from earlier. Ew. In a classic comedy of errors, Shiro decides wiping the mess with his pants is a solution. Naturally, this leads to an awkward, naked breakdown. Because why should a day in another world be any less bizarre? And just as he's having an existential crisis in this birthday suit, the princess wakes up and embraces him. I guess vulnerability really brings people together, huh? Even across dimensions. Then comes the moment when the princess wants to reveal something and Shiro panics because a timer appears. Talk about comedic timing, huh? He's desperately trying to rid her of the timer while navigating the fine line between awkward and outright ridiculous. As he fumbles with magical water droplets and timer troubles, he realizes he needs a container. Meanwhile, the princess, oblivious in her sleep, cuddles up to him once more. Talk about an odd couple. In the midst of this chaos, Shiro's brainstorming ways to unlock her handcuffs, because why solve one problem when you can have a buffet of dilemmas, am I right? So, on night 2 of this magical roller coaster ride, Princess Christia goes full DIY mode, trying to MacGyver her way out of those pesky handcuffs. She even contemplates some pretty extreme measures involving benches and sawing off a wrist, which, let's be real, it's not the best plan for a bedtime activity. Shiro, being the reluctant hero, jumps in with his creation magic spiel, trying to convince Christia that there's hope without resorting to, drastic measures. But then, out of the blue, he blurts out a request for a roll in the hay. Talk about an unexpected turn of events.
My man!
Yes, thank you, sir.
Christia sees it as a way to boost Shiro's spirits, which, in hindsight, might not have been the most well-thought-out plan. As the clock ticks, literally, Shiro's like, oops, gotta hold on for dear life because magic production waits for no man! You know, that timing as always. It's always impeccable. And in a magic-induced whirlwind, as they finish their, bonding moment, Shiro pulls off a magical stunt that leaves Christia flabbergasted. Magic! Who knew? Using his newfound magical creation, thanks prison window grill, they slice through Christia's handcuffs like a hot knife through butter. And suddenly she's a magical force to be reckoned with, breaking free and taking on soldiers like a boss. Meanwhile, Shiro's second-guessing his life choices, pondering whether escaping with a powerful, possibly reckless princess was a better deal than staying put. But hey, torture isn't exactly a great vacation plan either, right? So, following Christia into a chapel and down into a secret cave beneath it, classic adventure move, and after a winding journey through a secret cave, they find themselves facing the sea, because, of course, this wouldn't be complete without a dramatic exit. Amidst Shiro's daydreams of a fabulous adventure-filled journey with the princess, the reality was a bit more nautical. They found themselves cruising the high seas, having borrowed a fisherman's boat under the cover of night, because nothing screams adventure like a 3 a.m. joyride. They took turns steering the boat, navigating through the darkness, and Shiro, ever the multitasker, conjured pure water from the salty sea, leveling up his magic skills and pondering whether he's the princess's guardian angel in disguise. Who knew magical water production could be both practical and existential? Spotting an island on the horizon, Christia shifted into turbo mode, eager to hit paradise. They made landfall on this tropical gem, and she went full Tarzan, effortlessly harvesting coconuts while flexing her muscles. Meanwhile, Shiro had a life-changing moment. He encountered a real-life slime. Cue the oh wow moment. Christia, with the grace of a gazelle, became Shiro's island Uber, sprinting and jumping around while he clung on for dear life. And understandably so, holding on to her chest for stability, because why not? She cleared paths, climbing cliffs, and generally playing superhero, while Shiro, in his own magical way, whipped up bread and had an aha moment. This gave Christia the bright idea to create a cozy place for them to crash while Shiro pondered the finer details of bed making, involving palm fronds, because who needs a Tempur-Pedic when you've got magic and palm leaves? As they settled into their makeshift home, Christia laid out her life plans while Shiro added collect palm fronds to his to-do list. Because what's a tropical adventure without a touch of DIY interior decorating? Amidst their island adventures, Christia sets off on a mission to gather palm fronds and all things wild, while Shiro, a one-man plant-based production line, opted to craft bags, because who doesn't need stylish foliage accessories? Returning from his botanic endeavors, Shiro discovered Christia's DIY bed, a leafy masterpiece. Meanwhile, Shiro, contemplating his own usefulness, pondering a harsh reality. He might be more of a liability in Christia's upcoming battles. Cue the awkward "please leave me here alone" speech, followed by a moment of, intimacy. As dawn broke, Shiro leveled up his harvesting bag-making skills to a disappointing level 2. Because, you know, life isn't always an RPG where leveling up means instant greatness. And in a twist of fate, they smothered each other to sleep, figuratively speaking, as they face the uncertainty of the day ahead. Morning arrives, and Shiro busies himself with fruit harvesting, only to find Christia had bagged a massive animal and efficiently turned it into provisions. She even crafted a cozy hotbox for them to spend more quality time together. Intimate requests and alternate positions ensued, making it quite the eventful day. But alas, the inevitable farewell between Shiro and Christia approached. With a loaded boat of supplies, Shiro bid adieu, contemplating a future filled with solo magic crafting, and because who needs a harem when you've got enchanting hobbies, right? Christia's triumphant return to the shore was a soggy surprise. Her clothes ripped, looking like she just battled an entire empire and won, Shiro, in a haze of longing, started drying her off, only to realize he'd been intimately acquainted with a friendly cave slime. Talk about a wet wake-up call. Feeling a tad lonesome without his island companion, Shiro fretted over the dying bonfire and the encroaching darkness. Armed with only a sword he could barely use, he did what any stranded adventurer would do: crafted a makeshift spear for protection. In a flurry of resourcefulness, Shiro built a door, foraged for food, and stumbled upon some kombu, contemplating a solo culinary adventure. In 5 days of crafting and contemplation, he reached level 3 of his production magic. And behold, he birthed a small stone golem, affectionately naming Iwao, who seemed just as confused about the situation as Shiro. As Shiro pondered the golem's purpose, Iwao gestured towards the forest, and just as he pondered this enigmatic sign, a ship on the horizon caught his eye. Cue the excitement. Maybe it was Christia coming back. Nope, it turned out to be someone else, accompanied by a whole army of women. Well now, talk about unexpected guests, am I right? In a whirlwind of pirate shenanigans, Shiro orders his trusty golem to guard the cavern, ready to go full ninja in the bushes to spy on the approaching ship. Observation skills on high alert, he spots the pirates in action, boarding their boat, looking every bit the seafaring troublemakers they appeared to be. Thinking fast and hungry, Shiro amasses a fruit stash for survival, prepping for the inevitable pirate invasion. But alas, his attempts at forced stealth are thwarted when a woman from the crew shouts, "Man spotted!" Suddenly surrounded by a motley pirate crew, their captain, oddly civil for a pirate, claims they wouldn't lay a finger on the weak man on his lonesome island. Shiro, cautious but relieved, offers peace offerings, but not all the crew are thrilled about the captain's orders, especially one who felt slighted for missing out on a potential captive. Enter Janice, another pirate with a keen interest in Shiro, plotting behind the captain's back. Meanwhile, Shiro, in a mix of survival instincts and magical know-how, trains his golem and sets up torches, because even in impending pirate battles, good lighting is essential. As the tension mounts, an explosion rattles the island, prompting Shiro to gear up like a one-man warrior. And just as he braces for the impending chaos, someone emerges from the bushes, a new player in this island pirate saga. In the midst of a pirate's slumber, chaos strikes. Captain Cecili gets a rude awakening from Janice, who's alarmed by a mysterious island disease that's turned most of the crew into unwilling participants in a germ-filled island drama. Janice votes for a swift island exit, but Cecili, ever the noble captain, thinks it's the ship's responsibility to nurse the sick. But oh, plot twist! Betrayal alert! One of the crew with a penchant for sharp objects decides to redecorate Cecili's back with a knife. Oh, how lovely. And just when things couldn't get weirder, cue the impromptu fireball magic show and some ill-aimed arrow action. Amidst this pandemonium, Janice declares herself the new captain, pointing fingers at Cecili for, well, everything. A fiery showdown ensues with Cecili disappearing into the night like a magical ninja. Janice, now captain, orders a halt to the chaos, realizing they're all just going to hurt themselves in the dark. Meanwhile, on another part of the island, Shiro stumbles upon the injured and very much real Cecili. He's quick to the rescue, commanding Iwao to assist in whisking Cecili to the cavern for aid. With a pants-turned bandage and some magical prowess, Shiro stabilizes Cecili's injuries. Leveling up like a magical champ to level 4, Shiro creates a new golem for extra security, because in times of pirate mutiny, magical protection is key. When Cecili finally awakens, she's greeted by a startling discovery. She's lacking in the clothing department. Shiro, claiming innocence in not peeking, manages to bring the blushes out on both sides. Cecili's embarrassment reaches peak levels, while Shiro's boldness in this unexpected situation leaves them both in a comically awkward moment. So, this guy's shaving, trying to tidy up his face fuzz, and Cecili is nearby, feeling like she accidentally stumbled into the super secret beard zone. She's all apologetic like she's caught red-handed, peeking at a top secret document. But hey, he's just shaving, right? Then she's all famished and he whips up some mango juice magic. She gulps it down like it's the elixir of life and showers him with praise. Smooth, Mr. Mixologist, smooth. But hold up. She tries lifting her arms and it's like she's doing the limbo with her own limbs. So our hero thinks, hey, I can feed you like a baby bird. Cue the aww moment, and maybe a bit of awkwardness. Then she drops a compliment bomb about his name and our guy's like, wait, is she flirting with me? But she's playing it off like a ninja dodging shurikens. Next thing you know, she's out cold, snoring like a champ. He knows she won't handle a 3-course meal, so he's on a mission to cook up some comforting porridge. Meanwhile, he's also planning a golem production upgrade because, multitasking is the name of the game. Fast forward to day 6 and she's doing better. Surprise, surprise, her wounds vanished into thin air. Cue the gratitude parade and heartfelt thanks. But then she spills the beans about being a Robin Hood for the rich, not bothering the poor, and even offers to split the bounty or drop him off wherever he fancies. And our dude, seizing the moment, drops the marriage question. Cue awkward blushing and flustered romance responses. He's only half joking, but she's half considering it. The ship of matrimony is on the horizon, folks. Then, out of the blue, he's like, "Teach me to sail, Captain," while she's decked out like she's going to a ball. And off they go, wandering the forest, guarding against pirates, with his golem posse by his side. He's fishing like a pro while feeling like a VIP, and she's flexing her muscles hauling a massive log. Canoe construction is underway, baby. He cooks up a storm, dishes out a meal fit for royalty, and drops a dessert joke that knocks her off her feet. Figuratively. She nosebleeds and passes out, leaving him to carry her princess style with his golems. So the canoe is a masterpiece, and Shiro's feeling like he just witnessed a miracle. But hold your breath. Cecili, the Wonder Woman herself, casually whips up the whole thing solo. Talk about skills. They're cruising along, searching for the perfect island name. Shiro, in a moment of inspiration, decides to honor a princess from his past and name it Monte Cristo Island. Cue the mysterious past vibes. Now they stumble into this cave, and inside there are stairs leading up. Someone's been busy with the interior decorating, that's for sure. And up they go, reaching heights that made Shiro feel like he's face to face with his fear of heights. Cecili, being the supportive sidekick, swoops in with an embrace, calling him a real scaredy cat. They venture further in, and Cecili's radar for danger goes off full alert mode. "Stick close, buddy," she says, taking charge like a boss. And suddenly there's this colossal door looming ahead. But wait, Cecili's reaction? Pure joy. Turns out she's been longing for a dungeon adventure to get back at some double-crossers who snatched her boat. Revenge mode activated. Shiro, knowing vengeance won't solve all of her problems, plans their great escape from the island. Building a boat? Check. Stocking up on supplies? You bet. Then comes the heart-to-heart moment. Cecili wonders if she can return to Shiro after settling the score. He's all for it, dreaming of mango juice toasts and good times. Cecili pledges no more weirdos in tow for Shiro, a promise that's oddly specific. Plans for the future? Well, Shiro's promising an inn for her and her crew, ready to make some sweet profits. But he's also wary. No shady business at his inn. Gotta maintain that integrity, right? Alrighty, this will be it for today, guys, and we will surely come back with another story, another day for you all. If you guys are interested in seeing part 2, please let us know in the comments down below, as we are always checking your guys' opinions. Also, write down in the comments about the manga that you're reading right now. If you have already liked this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, as it inspires us to create more content just like this. And as for now, we'll catch you later. See you in the next one.